Welcome to your unfiltered guide to navigating the workplace as a Black woman, the Black Womaning in Corporate America podcast with your host, Nicole S. Palmer. I am the CEO and founding partner of Delnick Media, an independent publishing company that amplifies underrepresented and marginalized voices. This podcast was inspired by my award-winning and best-selling book, Playing the Game While Black Womaning in Corporate America. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone, to another very special edition of Black Women in Corporate America with your host, Nicole S. Palmer. And I am joined by a very special guest, friend of the pod, Zara Northover.
Hi, everyone. I feel like it's been a while. I miss you guys.
Oh my gosh. It has been too long, y'all. The struggle was real to get this off the ground this evening.
Like with one eye open. It's been 6 a.m. I'm still awake working on stuff, getting ready to get this brief for the U.S. Supreme Court. And
hey, look, we made it. Praise God. We are here. Record is working. The audio is good. So we gonna keep it pushing. But we had to come on here and give you guys an update because it has been a while, right? You guys have been seeing little dribbles and drabs here and there. But a lot has happened since y'all have seen Zara on camera. So I'm gonna turn it over to her to give us an update. What have you been up to, Zara? And what has been the goings on?
I actually want to start off by saying, Nicole, you are a godsend. You are a blessing to women. You are just empowering and such a light. And I'm so thankful to have met you virtually and in person. Okay. But I'm so thankful that you have created such a space to host individuals to talk about hard conversations. The world is truly a better place because you're in it. And I can honestly say that you have made my journey a whole lot easier than it would have been not having you by my side. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been some years now. I feel like it's probably, I don't know if we've been at this for a year, 2 years. I know I've been at this for 5 years, but wherever you came on the journey, it made it a whole lot lighter.
Look, it is too late in the day for me to hold back emotions, okay? We out here ugly crying, all right? We're not doing that tonight. We're not doing that tonight. I'm going to keep it together.
Yes. So where we are, you guys, since Nicole has been updating in terms of written content, and I've been posting stuff and sharing, but we have gone through the Michigan Supreme Court. So it's the highest court of the state. And unfortunately, after 8 months of deliberation, after a granted amicus brief, after a granted a limited petition, after a denied motion to strike for the defense, the courts did not choose to review the appeal. So it's not like they said, you don't have any merits. They just said, hey, we're not going to grant leave to appeal because they thought the question wasn't persuasive enough. So where that leaves us is when you get that response, which we received on May 22nd, 2026, you have 90 days in order to do a writ for certiorari, which is basically send a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court, which is now the highest court of the lands, United Nations, with 9 justices. And that's where we're going. That's where we're going next, because from the very beginning, we knew that this was going to be a fight. And I still believe in the merits of my case. I know the truth of what I've experienced. And the God that I serve, sometimes God says, hey, if I'm going to do it, I got to do it big, right? So we might as well go to the top and see if we could change law, create policy. But most importantly, we're going to be creating precedent. We're going to be, the Rocket Mortgage goes down in the briefs on the U.S. Supreme Court level where someone, right, a Black woman who stood up for herself, who advocated for herself, who chose to say, I'm going to go all the way because I am worth the cost of justice. And that is exactly what I've done and what I would do it any day, because this journey has been hard, but it has been so worth it based off of all the responses I've gotten from people saying that you've helped me to stand up and advocate for myself, or you gave me clarity as I was on my journey, or I've been validated. that's the reason why we're talking. That's the reason why I'm sharing, is because our people perish for lack of knowledge. And what better way to learn the process than from somebody that's in it in real time, not speaking about what I've done, but literally trying to figure it out with you guys in person. And so thank you for bearing with me with trying to break down the conversation in layman's terms, because I literally have to learn the law to then try to apply the law, because I am a pro se litigant representing myself. And there's many lawyers that don't even, don't make it to the Supreme Court of their state, let alone going to the U.S. Supreme Court. So it's possible. And that's really what this is all about too, to show you that it's possible to advocate for yourself all the way.
Ooh, y'all heard that? I don't know if y'all heard that. So let me recap for those of you who are just joining, y'all fashionably late folks. First of all, she took her case to the Michigan Supreme Court, highest court in the state of Michigan. And they was like, nah. And she was like, okay, I'll just go above your head.
I mean, in short, that's basically what happened. But one thing I can say, I feel really proud of the work I've done up to this point. Remember, I don't know if you watched the video for the Michigan Court of Appeals, you heard the justices say, this was very well briefed. And there was a small win for me. When I was preparing for the U.S. Supreme Court and getting my cert together, I came across a brief where a judge had an opinion and used a piece of my brief in that opinion. And I thought to myself, what if I didn't do this? Right? So would my opinion would my brief not be in a position to help someone else, right? And that part of that person's case moved forward. I mean, granted, there's tons of cases in there, but to just feel like something I've done truly is in a position to help someone else, that makes the fight worth it, regardless of what happens. So the Court of Appeals has gone by, the Michigan Supreme Court, even most people get denied in 4 to 6 weeks. It took 8 months for them to say, nah, we're not doing that. But it's not, they could have denied it a different way. But they didn't say there's no merits here. They didn't say you're wrong. They didn't say Rocket's right. They said question's not persuasive. We're just not going to take leave to appeal. And now we move forward to the U.S. Supreme Court because we did preserve the record. It's important to say, basically, if you're not going to look at it, then I'm going to go above your head to have somebody else look at it.
She literally said, let me speak to your manager. Okay, y'all don't want to? Okay, that's okay. I'd like to see your supervisor right now. Okay, because that's the equivalent. U.S. Supreme Court is the equivalent. It's the supervisor of all courts, all of the courts. It's up here, y'all. And she was like, that's where I'm going. And if y'all don't, come on, some of y'all are afraid to ask for a raise. Look, this is unfiltered. This is after hours, okay? Like, we filming in the evening. We are not here to be cute and demure, okay? Some of y'all scared to ask for a raise. Some of y'all scared to ask for the back pay that you earned. And she out here a whole pro se litigant, meaning that she is representing herself before the highest court in the land. And you like, I don't know if I could what are they going to do if I take a week off? All this PTO I earn. Oh my gosh, what are they going to do without me? What am I do? Come on now. If this is not an inspiration, y'all, I don't know. I'm telling you, I want a time machine so I could go back after the job that shall not be named and be like, you know what? We're going to have a conversation, okay? A different conversation. This is going to go differently. I'm just saying, okay?
Yeah. But it's obviously a big why. And for those who are just tuning in that haven't been following, the summary version, the Cliff Notes version is I worked at Rocket Mortgage I had multiple positions at that company. And ultimately, years into my career, I was met with the bad boss, right? The bad executive. And I was threatened, if you continue down this path, it won't end well for you. After advocating for protected classes and myself. And then 2 weeks later, I received a gorilla card in the mail.
Okay.
That's right. And it says Rock Companies, right, from Rocket Mortgage. And inside the card said, Zara, I see a great year in your future, or bananas. It's unclear. Happy birthday anyway. So from the threat to the microaggressions to all the things that you face, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. And for someone that has spent her life advocating for others, I was left with a decision of, do I stand up for myself when now that it's me? Because if it was somebody else, I would have been right by their side helping them, or in front of them leading the charge, right? But now I'm faced with it because I was advocating for others, because I was trying to help other people get jobs, because I was trying to make sure rates, we looked into all the things to make sure Blacks weren't having higher percent interest rates and what things we could do as a company to try to make things fair, right? I said I was going to stand up. So I went to church one Sunday, and behind my pastor was a sign that said bigger than me. And mind you, this is literally probably around 2020, 2021 now. So it's been 5 going on 6 years that I've been at this. And I am stronger, obviously, today than I was back then. At the time, I was going through the depression. My hair was falling out. I was crying all the time. I was locked in the closet. I mentally was distraught. But I'm also, and we've talked about me owning it, I'm also an Olympian. I am a Jamaican Olympian, right? I'm a Jamaican Olympian. I knew that if I have the fight in me, and whether someone wanted to underestimate me, then that was their problem. But I know that these are our rights, and they could try to name call. They could try to call me frivolous and vexatious and repugnant and all the names in the world. But I'm a Black woman who has a rights that you did a documentary on, that used my face and my likeness, but it benefited you, right? And now I'm doing the same for myself.
Okay, period, point blank. Okay, because that is the thing that I think is so important, that for it not to be lost on people, you were not just an employee of Rocket Mortgage, you were a decorated employee. Come on, y'all. Y'all know Black women excellence and Black women magic. Okay, do we have to say that? Come on now. We overachieve without even trying. It's just Monday. It's just a Tuesday. And we do all of the things. You were being an excellent employee, and they, so much so that they did a whole documentary on you. Okay. And now suddenly you're a problem. Suddenly you're being difficult. And that's so important. And I'm so glad you raised it, because there is this misnomer that you can't possibly be discriminated against in a company that you worked for years. You can be a long-term employee at a company and then suddenly be discriminated against. The variables change, people. Literally.
Moving from region to region. I'm sure there's probably some people in other regions that probably was just like, ooh, I wouldn't have messed with her, right? But they wasn't in the region anymore, right? So it's one of those things where, but that's why you cannot be afraid to hold people accountable. You can't be afraid to speak up for yourself, because whether I spoke up for myself or didn't speak up for myself, right? The threat was, it's not going to end well for you. So at least this way, I am taking action and making sure that someone else doesn't write the end of my story, right? I'm not going to bow down. I'm not going to just let you push me out. I still went back to work when I came back from leave after the stress and all those things. And that's the reason why we're sitting here with 2 lawsuits, one that's before the Supreme Court, one that's before the federal court, that we're waiting to see if maybe God's willing, we move forward to a jury trial. But I have learned so much about the law. I've been able to help other people that have gone through their own process, and now we're soon to be a founder. Well, we are a founder. We're doing a startup to create a legal navigation company, a legal tech company, to be able to help people to navigate through the process, because all the things I wish I had, right? All the mistakes that I made, I don't want somebody else to go through that process, and to know I want people to know that they're not alone. They're not alone. There's way too many of us. Over 88,000 people filed a complaint with the EEOC last year, right? That's not even including all the other agencies and all the other complaints that just didn't even happen, right? And over 270,000, right? Increase that didn't even make it to the charge itself. So the numbers are too high. They're too staggering. Right now, we're dealing with it's probably at least 750,000 Black women without a job, right? So there's now's the time that we do have to take that ownership of our voice, our story, and our narrative back, and keep moving in faith and do what we have to do, because some of us have to fight. right? Some of us can't. Some of us are like, give me that NDA and let me go find another job, right? And at least if you put the complaint in and then sign the NDA, then there's a tracker, right? That could help the next person. But some of us have to see it through, because if one of us doesn't start that process, then it's not going to be better for the next.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad there's so many things that you raised that I just wanted to kind of highlight, especially on the heels, as you said, of all of these Black women that have been displaced from the workforce. And one of the things that I think is so important that you touched on is the fact that you went on medical leave. And I think that a lot of us don't recognize that we have that available to us. And I think that there's this notion that, well, if I'm not physically ill, it's not worthy. It doesn't qualify as medical leave. As I always say, your brain is attached to your body. So if your brain is not at 100%, that is medical leave. That is a qualifying event. If you are stressed to the point that you cannot focus, that you are feeling depressed, anxious, whatever the symptoms are, that is a qualifying event.
Get to a therapist.
Take the leave. You absolutely have it available to you, and it breaks my heart, especially because of everything that's happening. Like, suddenly people are getting put on PIPs that were these great performers, and not realizing they have some options. They can give themselves a little bit more runway. Take the leave. Take some time to, like, at least pause the clock, whatever the case is. See if you have an EEOC claim, because that's what you did for yourself. And I think even just not even realizing that you need to do it the moment it happens, not when now I'm getting let go, so I'm going to do it 4 months later. The clock runs the moment the instance happened. That's when the clock starts. And not knowing that. And so I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit, but if not, you can, Nicole, be quiet. We're not talking about that just yet, okay? But there's so much that you're doing right now, and I'm super excited about one of the upcoming projects. And you can tease it out if it's not time yet.
No. Go ahead.
But I'm really excited about this upcoming book that you're working on.
Yes, the cost of justice.
I'm just saying.
Cost of justice that you're editing.
I'm just like, come on, let's talk about it, because I think that really, especially for people who are going through it or who are at the crossroads, it's going to help and touch a lot of people. So let's get into it a little bit.
Absolutely. So I think what's near and dear to my heart, one, it's my first book. So, right. So of all the books I've written that are just in this house and in my mind, right, God saw fit that this was going to be the first one. But it's going to be one of the most impactful ones. You know, I envision that there's going to be law schools like buying this book and making students reach it so they can have a better understanding of what the client's mindset is like, right? Because they're like, my vision is that a girlfriend finds out that somebody's going through a hard time, they're going to be like, listen, read this book before you even make a decision, right? Because the goal is not that this is like tell all of every piece of happening in the lawsuit, because I'm still in it. So you guys are getting me in the midst of the storm. Like, not like I'm talking and this has been done. I'm in it, right? Coming to you live. But what this book is about is more so the preparation, right? Of why did I choose to choose me, right? What was I thinking? How was I feeling? The fasting, the praying, down to the TV shows I watched, right? Like and the movies. So it's lighthearted. It's a easy read for someone to. I feel like the feel that they're gonna get is, man, right? This person can relate to me. I can relate to them. I feel seen. I feel validated. And that's what my hope is, that you understand the process by telling you in the book to look for an attorney and what questions to ask and all the things that we're not taught
at all. Yeah. And I'm excited because it helps. It's a workbook, right? It's this companion guide that helps anyone who may be in the midst of their own storm or turmoil or whatever the case is in their job, helps them walk through those steps. And so it's kind of like having Sarah in your pocket, like a pocket Sarah.
and spiritual. I've got some scripture, some positive thoughts, like, and you're right, that's me. And listen, when you get off the phone with me, sometimes my friends are like, dang, we just had Bible study, right? And,
And I mean, I'm all for it. Yeah, you know how I get down. Look, I'm a church girl. Y'all already know I'm never shied away from that. We will sit here and go back and forth with scripture and just break stuff down. So if that's what you into, or maybe you're seeking, maybe you're not yet sure, come to the altar. Let's have a conversation. No, but seriously, that's what I love about it. I think it's going to be so powerful because it's truly just you on the page. And to me that is what is needed more now. Authenticity, who come as you are, and if you are at that point in time where you need a little bit of extra help, this book to me is going to come at the right time. It's going to be available real soon, y'all. So I'm just saying, have it on good authority.
Definitely stay tuned for it. And just so many great. The thing is, we've been able to live. Most people will tell you, don't sue because it's like you're living in a rear view mirror. But
Hmm.
while yes, I have to look back because I have to deal with it and I have to do
Yeah,
depositions and I have to fight, but I'm still able to live and move forward. And I want people to see that there is
absolutely.
a balance, right? God will pave the way if He's called you to
Hmm.
the fight, right? And that has been very evident from the very beginning through all of this. Some way along the lines, the right people just
Hey
pop up,
now.
right?
Okay. Yes.
And
Yes,
and
indeed.
show up because I remember even how we met. One day I shared something and I reached out and I when I to the LinkedIn page and I was just like, I need help. Like I was like, I don't know who's behind this, but this is what's going on. And from then on, you've really been by my side. I mean,
Yeah.
to think in 3 weeks we had over 1,000 people sign a petition to support the things that we've been able to do on this
Yeah.
journey to show that we're not alone is powerful. And I want us to remember that. So you are deserving of the raise. You're
Yeah.
deserving of the promotion. You're the
Yes.
deserving of just taking PTO, right?
Hello. Come
Like
on now.
you're deserving
Yes.
of all those things. You're deserving of advocating for yourself. You're
Hmm.
deserving of standing up to somebody trying to sexually harass you. You don't
Hello.
need to take it, right? And when you know your rights and your law and the law, to be honest with you, it's when you don't know, it's easier for people to take advantage of you. But
That
when
part.
you know it, they will get rid of the director, right? There
Hmm.
was a case where a young lady had reached out to me. She knew exactly, right? We were able to go through. She knew what to say, and
Hmm.
that director is no longer there, right? Will she possibly be dealing with retaliation? All that, who knows? But at least she's prepared because
Yeah.
we were able to have the conversations, knowing what to document,
Yep.
protect. I am not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be a lawyer, but I'm
Yeah.
somebody that's been through the process,
Hmm.
right? And I could speak in layman's terms. I could give you the good, the bad, the ugly,
Yeah.
right? The ugly cries that come, the snot running out of the nose sometimes, the feeling like you're so alone standing by the river,
Hmm.
almost feeling like, why am I even here? I could be honest about that. There's been many times where I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and I wouldn't take my life. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But the fact that I could stand and sit and think,
Yeah.
I understand why some people would, is
Mhm.
scary.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the
talk
reality.
like seriously, talk about it. That's real talk right there, and we don't talk about it enough in the church, to be honest. And I think that's a whole conversation unto itself. But we have to be honest. We are still human. We are still very much human, and we still experience the whole range of emotions of feeling hopeless and feeling like I do this? I don't know that I can. I don't think I can. So they're not mutually exclusive things. You can be a person of faith and still feel utter despair. That is 100% a thing. And even if you're not a person of faith, you're still human. And that's really the bottom line. And I think the one thing that I take away from with you sharing about how some people say, well, if you sue, then you'll always be looking back. I look back now and I didn't sue.
Yeah.
And so you will have that wondering what if. It may not be all the time, but you will wonder, what if I had given it all that I had and then said, you know what, I tried it, I fought as much as I could, I took it as far as I could, and then I walked away. There's
Amen.
also a haunting there. So like, don't take that for granted either.
Yeah, and I remember a good friend of mine giving me that advice because she said, whether you do something about it or you don't, she was like, this is going to be with you for the rest of your life, right? Like, so,
100.
and even my fiance had said to me, at the end of the day, will you be able to live with yourself? And knowing you mentally, it's not a money thing, right? It's really a mental mindset thing. And I know I'm the type of person, if I don't finish what I've started, if I don't feel like I've given my all to stand up for myself, my voice, and protect me and others, not just me, but others as well, then I'm going to struggle with that mentally. But if I go all the way and nothing happens, something did happen. One, I learned a whole lot, right? I learned a whole lot. And two, I could say that I fought for myself. We know that the system is not set up for us. I mean, you hope that everything aligns and people can see, but anything can happen in the law. So the reality is that at least I tried my best, and I brought it as far as I could, and I can live with that in the end.
And you made a difference, a hell of a difference in the lives of a lot of people. Okay. So that's also important because it's also about who you touch along the way. I I am on pins and needles. I don't know about anybody else because I feel like I'm in the passenger side while you're driving. So maybe that's why I'm always on pins and needles waiting to see what's coming next. But I cannot wait to hear what comes of this. Of course, we're going to keep you guys updated here as well as on Delnick Media, all of our socials to let you know how this is coming along. We do have a dedicated case files page for Zara Northover versus Rocket Mortgage. We will put the link below. So if this is your first time tuning in, you're like, what did I just walk into? What did I miss? I feel like I walked into the middle of a conversation. Go check out the case files page. That will get you up to speed on everything, all the coverage that has been to date. We have been covering this story it has been, I think we're going on 2 years now. It feels like it, at least.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, because you were with me for the Court of Appeals, and that was the attorney left me in November of 2023. So yeah.
It's been y'all, and we haven't even. This is a fraction. She has been in it, and I was tired because in a sense, we want the resolution. It's like you're waiting for this deliverance to come, for this here. Okay, finally, you're gonna hear it out, and the waiting, I can't even imagine. And you're actually in it. So, one of the things I definitely have to say, the petition is still open. Your signature still matters. Please sign it. We will also put the link below. If you haven't signed it already, go ahead and sign it. Doesn't cost you anything. It'll take you 30 seconds maximum. So do that. What else would you like to tell our audience before?
I truly want to thank you guys for tuning in on all the things, right? From Instagram to TikTok to LinkedIn, however you're feeding the information and educating yourself on this process, because that is how we all get better. And the one thing I keep thinking about is, and I pulled it up, Dr. Candia Bailey, that was the lady that took her life, right? And God rest her soul. But I think about that on my journey. When people say, how are you still doing this? How can you continue? Right? Our ancestors fought so hard to give us access to fight, right? Like we fight different. We don't got to fight the way they fought, right? Where we don't have to show up with guns and knives and all those things. We literally can show up with our brain and go to the courthouse, right? We have the authority to fight back. And most people think that even it is scary fighting without a lawyer. The goal is obviously to try to get a lawyer. That is the goal, right? First. But even if you don't, you still have a right to fight, and you have tools now. And I'm looking obviously to create a legal tool myself that will be able to assist, but between AI, ChatGPT, Perplexity, DeepSeek, Claude, all of the things, right? There's things for us to do, and there's still a law library, right? So and it's not as costly. It's time consuming, but it's not as costly as people think, right? Like when I filed with and every state is different, but you're talking about a couple $100 to file something as opposed to a couple $100 an hour if you don't have it, right? Like to pay a lawyer. And don't let that deter you, because sometimes it's not that you don't have a case. Lawyers are just bogged, right? They're bogged down with other cases, or sometimes it could just be the timing, right? If this is right around Christmas, you may not find a lot of lawyers or people that's going to be taking on your case, right? So we try, and that's going to be part of the tool of this legal tech app as well, is to try to connect you and match you with a lawyer. So I'm excited about the things that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be speaking at the Workplace Bullying Conference with the Fair Path Project at the end of August. So that's August 28th, and the National Leverage Lab. I mean, it's the first of its kind. So the fact that we're at the point, the people that I had looked up to and influencers that I had learned from, I'm going to be standing on stage with them.
Okay,
it's even that is just a blessing to be in a position. And it's also a reminder, I've been at this a really long time now. It's the fact that I looked up to them and I was trying to figure it out. And now I'm here about to be on stage with them talking and sharing my expertise on what I've experienced up until this point. But it also shows why it's so important. And this is the last thing, because we'll be back. But Nicole, the one thing that is so important is the value of having the freedom of my speech because I didn't sign an NDA.
Say that loudly.
And that's a conversation we both can share, right? Because the concern is always, can I write about this? Can I say this? Can I think that out loud? And that's the reason why for me, I couldn't, because I knew the book was always in me. Right. There's no way that a speaker I was a speaker before I went to that company. I was somebody before I went to that company. I was somebody while I was at the company. I'm going to be somebody after. And there's no way that I'm going to not talk about almost 10 years of my life and not write about it. Right. And I remember that was even a concern that we had to talk about. We was like, can we publish this? Are you still in it? And then I said, in the name of Jesus. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to be held to a gag order. Nobody wants to be tethered to a pen and a piece of paper because it is our stories that are powerful and that matters. It's going to help other people. And that's what makes it all worth it.
Yeah, 1,000%. And even to put a period hammer on that, the defense against statements is the truth. That's the defense against libel and defamation. You tell them the truth, you're good.
Yeah, it's all in the briefs, right? And that's public record.
Yeah, this is public record. We are not saying anything. This is not something that we are imagining, that we are just pulling out the sky. Look it up, okay? This is public record. Go do your homework, okay? We bringing it to you. We facilitating. But you can look this up yourself. You don't have to take our word for it. This is public record. Why do you think they're not talking about it? They want us to go away.
No, the one thing that's been heavy on my heart, and I want to say this, and hopefully if it reaches to you, it was meant to, is at some point God says, stop worrying about what everybody else is going to think. Stop worrying about what everybody else is going to do. We know that we serve a God that can show up and touch the judge's heart, the justice's heart, and make it all work out, right? And if it doesn't work out, it's not because God is not with you. It's because there's a different purpose, right? Like my purpose might have been to carry it to this point, and then the next person is going to be able to carry it further because, right, I brought it to where it is at this point. So we don't know where the story ends yet, but either way, it's going to be victorious in Jesus' name.
And I'm just saying, Moses didn't make it to the promised land, but he sure took them people out of Israel. I mean,
that part.
I'm just saying.
That part. So that's when I felt like I finally could breathe easier because it was scary. You're thinking like, man, am I going to be able to find another job? Am I going to be able to, when you're going up against a big entity that runs a city, for the most part, people are going to be afraid of them. There's some people that I could tell, you are always going to be able to tell the ones that liked your stuff and didn't like your stuff, the ones that really don't want to be in a picture with you anymore when you're posting because they don't want to be affiliated. The people that stop asking you to speak at events or not, you could tell when things are happening, but those things would have happened whether I said something or didn't, as long as I was suing, right? So for me, at the end of the day, I have to trust that God is going to provide. God gave me a business, Moving in Faith, movinginfaith.com. So that's how people are able to show up and support. Yeah. I've been doing pop-up shops and building. And I remember it was when I got turned down for this last job. And I've had rounds of interviews. I've applied for hundreds of jobs, and I'm more than qualified. 2 degrees, former Olympian, multiple, career experiences. But when I got turned down for this last one, it was like God saying, I done gave you a business, you out here looking for work. and I like run your business on weekends so you could fight this lawsuit during the week, right? And try to figure out some stuff and trust the people around you will carry you. Right? Trust that in the moment of time when you need this help, that there are going to be people that can support you. Because when you look back in history, that's what happened. Whole towns came together to donate and give money in order for people to fight. right? There are slaves that went to court to fight for their freedom. You know how many people probably told them that they were wasting their time? But if they didn't try, it would have never happened. Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman to run for president, had to go to the court, and she had to go to the highest court. She had to go to the Supreme Court before she finally won. So you never know.
Absurd. A lot of people thought she was absurd. Who was absurd then? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So we had a plan, but we go where it goes. We share what needs to be shared. Please, y'all, stay tuned in because we're going to have more updates and some other developments we're going to tell y'all about later. But you're going to have to keep tuned in. So if you haven't subscribed, because a lot of y'all just be hanging out there, subscribe, dang it. Okay? Show support. Show some love. It does cost you nothing. Y'all be lurking in the shadows. Subscribe, dang it. And sign the petition. And go support Zara, Moving in Faith. Okay, we're going to put all of the links in there. Help her take this fight all the way to the highest court in the land, okay? We expect to have a virtual celebration. We're going to see how many people are going to pack in alive when we hear the good news.
Well, you have an event coming up, too.
I do have an event coming up. Put me on the spot. I mean, okay. Yes, y'all. So I'm doing my first event in person. It's based on my book. It's called Black Woman After Hours, The First Pour. So it's the Sip and Reads in person. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be safe. It's just an opportunity for us as Black women to be and talk about my book, Playing the Game While Black Women in Corporate America, which is the #1 bestseller today, y'all. Y'all done went and so y'all, thank you for the love because it's out there. So yes, if you are in the DMV area, thanks there for putting me on blast. If you're in the DMV area, September 26th from 5 to 7:30, Savage, Maryland, and I will put the link in the description as well. All right, y'all, we done gave y'all a whole lot. So please stay tuned in. Come back again. And Zara, of course, she's a friend of the pod, so we're going to have her back. She's going to be like a co-host at some point. But y'all, until next time, as always, take care. All right, we did it. Thanks for tuning in to Black Womaning in Corporate America, the podcast. If today's episode spoke to you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, or submit a 5-star rating wherever you're listening. And don't forget to grab your copy of Playing the Game While Black Womaning in Corporate America, available now wherever books are sold. Until next time, take care.